Hey everyone, welcome to Mazel Tov Amore. Today we have a special guest, Chuck Slavin, a good friend of mine who I met on the set of My Best Friend's Girl. Now, did I pronounce the last name right?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, no, it was definitely My Best Friend's Girl that we met on, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then that movie's coming out when? In September?
I believe so. I think I saw a post for it somewhere.
In the post about the premiere party. So let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So you said that the movie premiere party that I'm having is, it's great and stuff, but I should be focusing on more.
I just my whole which actually when I emailed you, I think that it was more just I see being from what I've done and from all the stuff that I'm trying to push and everything around Boston, I just feel that we need to focus more on local stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that, it just kind of, when I saw the post about the event, it wasn't anything about you. It was just that I felt that we should be focusing more on stuff that's made locally. And if we spend all this time trying to push a movie like, say, for example, My Best Friend's Girl or... Right. One of the other movies that was filmed in Boston, that's great, but I just think that they have a budgeted amount already of all this money to spend on promotion, and I think that we really need to firmly focus locally on our projects and on our stuff.
Right. Now, tell me about some of the stuff that you've been working on. I know that you just created a Clueless YouTube video?
I just finished. Actually, I made it in January. We shot in Connecticut, actually, at Charles A. Aquavera Insurance, which was actually my friend Paul's father's insurance company, and they actually allotted us 2 days to work inside of the insurance company to film. We actually got it done in 1 day, and. Nice. I mean, filming 10 minutes short in 1 day is pretty amazing, just because of the time it takes setting up in different locations. Myself, when we plotted it out, and when we talked about shots, and when Paul had written it, Paul Goodwin, and I spoke with Jenna Sullivan, Lunarno, about mapping out the shot list and everything. We tried to trick it so that we wouldn't spend a lot of time moving around. So, the cast and crew did an amazing job to get it done in 1 day, because we were all thinking, oh, we got to spend the night, And I think that everyone was kind of nervous because they knew that if they spent the night with me, we'd do a whole lot of drinking. So I think it went over pretty good, and we all got out of there, and we actually got home. It was during one of the Patriots games. We got home to see the Patriots that night.
Nice.
So
how long was the script written?
It was written about 12 pages. 12 pages. And we didn't really cut out that much. I mean, that's one of the things, I've gotten a lot of feedback on the web, and especially where we just put it out in the first weekend, we already had about 1,000 hits. So I was pretty excited. But it was also from, word of mouth, which is huge, because a lot of people that I know in the business put it out there, emailed it out there for me, and got a lot of people to at least see it. So as far as it being to the script, it was pretty dead on with the script. I mean, we're going to go back and make some more revisions before we enter it in festivals and stuff like that, with a lot of the great feedback that we've gotten from people.
So do you agree that each page of script is equal to 1 minute on film?
Yeah. Of course, depending on, how fancy you're going to get as far as editing and stuff like that. But as far as we went, like I said, I mean, we were dead on with the script. So looking at it, 10 minutes, credits and stuff like that, it was around a minute, cut a little out.
Did you come up with the script yourself, or?
It was brainstorming on Pink Panther 2 between myself, Paul Goodwin, and a girl by the name of Shree Dixit. And Shree Dixit, she came up with a few funny ideas, and we worked it in. So I gave her an honorable mention in the end of the credits. But basically, it was myself and Paul. We just banged it out, and he wrote it all up. We used funny stories, and then he wrote it all up, and then he gave me back the script. And I looked at it, and I was trying to tailor it because originally what I wanted to do was use a lot of my friends in the business who I know, just saying going back to that, I don't want to plug the movie too many times, but going back to that feature film, basically, like, I feel like a lot of people in Boston don't get the chances because they're seen as like, oh, this is Boston. You don't have an agent. You don't have a manager. That means you must not have talent, which I think is a huge wrong misconception because there's so many talented people in this area.
Because Boston doesn't have any agents, correct?
Correct. And I think that goes to the Blue Books, the Blue Book law, where you cannot invade a sliding scale. And I also think it goes to the fact that we haven't had this many movies done in a long time. So I'm sure that as more and more movies come in, aside from the strike that might happen, there's going to be more and more chances. And of course, there's going to be more and more people that want to take your money.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I haven't had any acting jobs in like over a month, and I just feel it was because, the ongoing talk of the strike. I guess.
Well, the strike is big right now. I mean, there's going to be a few movies that come in independent of the AMPTP, which I hope to God that's the correct acronym or whatever for it, but that is the union for the producers. And two of the movies coming now are they're not with the producers union, so they're allowed to come here and film independently of the strike, regardless of whether the strike goes on or not. But I think that what's going to happen is that, yes, there'll be a few movies, but if the strike happens, we're going to lose that fact that we had so many feature films going on at once, and that's going to hurt.
Now, if the strike does happen, can they hire non-union for future roles, or does that ever happen?
That's what's. I don't think that they would. I don't know the technical of it. I mean, I'd have to get back to you on that, but I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be able to say, "Oh, let's make a movie and use all non-union." That just wouldn't happen. I think that if they did that, it'd be like one of those apocalyptic situations where everyone would go, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
and so
that should be, on someone's list to be like, "Oh, we've never done it with a non-union cast," right?
I guess, but it's kind of like telling the Teamsters you're going to drive yourself. That just doesn't happen. All
right. So, considering we met on set, like, what do you think about Boston becoming the new Hollywood? What do you think about that?
Well, I know there's been a lot of talk, and there's been the Hollywood East name dropped a lot, and I think that Boston has a lot of potential, and I think that it is definitely becoming a place for movies to be made. But like I said, before, is that I'm just very nervous that with all this stuff happening, that there's going to be people coming in trying to sell you on the Hollywood illusion. When I went out to LA, which I'll probably come back to the story in a little bit, but there was a lot of people that wanted to just take your money. And they wanted to tell you, oh yeah, we're going to make you a star. And they just wanted you to hand over cash and tell you that you were going to be the next star. Which is fine, I guess, if you want to pay people to believe in that. It's kind of like those placebos or those, miracle pills that they tell you that people buy and they go, oh, la-di-da, I'm so great, or I'm so happy and I'm healthy now. But yet, in actuality, it's not doing anything because it's just a state of mind. So I really believe that Boston will become a so-called Hollywood East. But like I've said a million times, it's going to be a matter of, can we be competitive? Can we stay competitive with tax incentives? Can we get these studios in, which I heard that there is really a large...